Hi everyone, I have my recent favorites. I haven't done a favorites in quite a while. I only do them when I feel like I've been really enjoying things. So I had this kind of long gap of the first trimester of my pregnancy where I was just like totally turned off of makeup. And recently, in the past month or two, I've been kind of rejuvenated, I guess, about makeup, and all of a sudden I've just enjoyed it so much more and gotten excited about new things and that kind of thing. So I actually do have some favorites here for you. So I have some skincare, some tools, some makeup. It's a wide range of things. So I'll do the skincare first, get that out of the way, because I always think that's the most boring. So I've really enjoyed this simple micellar cleansing water. And I did an updated skincare routine quite recently of my skincare while pregnant. So what I use this for is in the morning, instead of washing my face in the sink, I just swipe this over, and it's a lot less drying than any soap I've ever used. And I don't find this very helpful with makeup. As long as it's not waterproof or like super long wearing, it can take it off, but anything that's waterproof, this doesn't really work for. So I do also use this if if my makeup's looking really bad in the middle of the day and I just want to take it off and redo it, I'll use this for just my face makeup, but I don't really like it for eye makeup. But what I really like it for is that morning cleansing. It just leaves it a little bit more moisturized. And then the next thing I do, which is a change from that skincare routine, is I use this Paula's Choice Resist Cellular Defense Daily Moisturizer. And it's SPF 25 with antioxidants, and it says all skin types, though I feel like on the website this might say that it's more for normal to dry skin. I don't think this would work so great if you had oily skin, because it does leave my skin feeling kind of tacky. And what I was using is this clear ultralight daily mattifying fluid. This is very thin. It is a moisturizer plus SPF, but it just wasn't enough moisture. So my makeup was starting to look really bad. Like even the foundation that was working for me before was starting to settle into my pores, and I was just getting a lot of like just dry areas that the makeup was looking super bad. So I changed to using this SPF, and it seems to add a good amount of moisture to my skin, and makeup is looking a lot better on top of it. So really do enjoy this, but I don't think it would work if you had oily skin. For, I think my last skincare thing, this is a kind of a combo. So I just finished one of these. It will be in an empties that I should record sometime soon. It's the Paula's Choice Resist Ultralight Super Antioxidant Concentrate Serum. So this one says normal to oily combination, and it has hyaluronic acid. So I like this serum a lot. It's a lot more runny than, say, I've used one of the ones from Paula's Choice with retinol, and that was very much like super silicone-y, etc. She, I think, kind of sells it like you could use it like a primer. So I really like this serum because it's not like that. It's not all silicone-y. So I like the way it absorbs, etc. And I only use this at night. Well, what I've been able to do lately that's working well for me, and I mentioned this in my skincare routine that I sometimes did this, but I've been able to do this every night lately, and this is the Resist Moisture Renewal Oil Booster. This was a free deluxe sample that came a while ago. So I use 2 to 3 drops of this mixed in with the serum, and then that's it. So I wash my face, and then I put some sort of exfoliant on, either the BHA gel 2% or the 8% AHA gel. I alternate nights of those. Now, also a change to my skincare routine. If I remember, I use that toner, but I just don't remember that often or don't want to take the extra time. And then I do this. I mix these together and slap it on my face. I just like that I can do the moisturizing and the serum all at once, because I'm lazy and it's nighttime and I don't have a lot of time anymore because of having a toddler. And yeah, so I just like that I can do 2 steps in one, and it's seems to be working for my whole face. I do have this weird, like really dry patch right here on my forehead, only on this side. And I have this chronic dermatitis around my nose and sometimes under my lip right there. So what I use is, if I need extra moisture there, I use the Paula's Choice. This is sounding like an ad for Paula's Choice. I get no money from Paula's Choice, just to be clear. It's the Lip and Body Balm or something like that. So I've been using that on my lips since I finally finished what I had been using on my lips overnight. And then if, like lately, I've been putting that around my nose, up in that dry spot on my forehead and under my lips. So that takes care of any extra moisture that I need. So I think onto the makeup related things, kind of in the moisture realm. I got this deluxe sample, I think with a code that I used when I placed my most recent order with Sephora, and it's the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, and this is the Hydrating Primer. So since I was having the dryness issues and I changed SPF, I feel like I don't use this all over as much. It has a very kind of slight, maybe herbal smell, which I find pleasant. And now what I use this for is like on my cheeks, on those spots that get dry if things aren't sitting well. And I don't need this, like if I use it on my chin or my nose or the rest of my forehead, then the makeup will start breaking down and kind of settling into my pores in a different way. So I don't need it everywhere right now, but winter is coming, as they say. And who knows what's gonna happen, because it's in Minnesota, you know, it gets very cold, which means the air is very dry. So I may go ahead and buy like the travel size of this. I've been going back and forth because I had been using it pretty regularly, really liked it. And I like that it has a really interesting effect where even if my foundation or powder or whatever is looking a little bit more matte, it still maintains this like kind of sheen underneath that. So like when you move in the light, you're seeing a little bit of that kind of glow. So I was really surprised at how nicely it does that. And I do feel like it helps my makeup stay a little bit better. So yeah, it's just been really nice. Something else that I got recently before I get into the rest of my makeup is this mirror from Sephora. So I got this also in that most recent order, and it's in the sale section, assuming it's still there. It's $5. It's very slim, which I like. It has the magnifying part. It has Sephora down at the bottom. I like that it's a glossy finish, so it's not going to get all gummed up with a more like rubbery finish. I was looking at e.l.f. has 2 travel mirrors, a $1 one that's white and a black one, the studio one, which I think has that rubbery finish. I was leaning towards the black one because I figure the white one will get kind of grubby. Especially if I'm using it like while recording videos and I'm holding on to it with fingers that have foundation on it. Neither of one of those finishes, either white, a shiny white finish, or the rubbery black finish, would hold up well to lots of makeup-y fingers on them. So I just like that it's slim. I can keep this in my purse if I, at some point, I might get another one, I'm not sure. Just so I could have one at my vanity and one in my purse. Because right now I have a MAC mirror in my purse, but it's just a mirror inside a little pouch. So you have to like pull the mirror out and then you get your little fingerprints on it, which I don't like so much. So anyway, $5, I think this is nice. I mean, yeah, it has a branding of a store that I really like, so I don't mind that either. Okay, so the last tool that kind of goes with one of the makeup items. Mine is looking a little bit worse for the wear, but the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. So you can see it's just gotten really chewed up with cleaning. While I really like this flat edge, I think that it's like a weakness in the shape of the sponge for cleaning, because you try to, makeup really collects, especially in this top section. So when trying to kind of scrub it out, I think it really put a lot of strain on that flat edge, and that's why it started just pulling away. So what I have been doing is just using this kind of part of the sponge instead. But I do think I just want to get a new one, and I think I'm gonna try a beauty blender next time. But I'll wait for when I can get a really good deal on it. I believe I was looking at Walmart here today, I think, and I think they have these under $5. So really good deal. And this has lasted me a long time. But this is the only thing that will consistently get any sort of foundation, a foundation that works for me. It's the only way I can always get it to apply without settling into my pores. Use my fingers sort of sometimes, but I have to tap it in. Basically make my fingers be like a sponge. I'm still experimenting. I can sort of use a brush now, sometimes, sort of, if I'm really careful, and my skin is in just the right prep. But without doing a lot of futzing around, I can use this sponge and it's not gonna settle into my pores. I get the amount of coverage that I like, and it's great. So really have enjoyed this, and I am curious to see if I would prefer an actual beauty blender or if the $5 equivalent will do it for me. Now I really enjoy using this with this. So it's the NARS Sheer Glow in Siberia. It's not perfect, and I almost hesitate to call it a favorite, but I have used it more than any other foundation in probably a couple of years. I have to take a long pause to collect myself to say what I want to say about this. So the issues I have with this is it doesn't wear a super long time. It can look a little dry on my drier areas. The color isn't perfect. So today, in order to get like this, what I would consider a really good match between my neck and my face, I used this, but I also used the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in dim light on my neck, and that makes it a little bit darker. So this isn't a perfect match. It doesn't really wear all that great on me. The finish isn't really 100% what I like, but this is the best color match of anything I've worn, and it's quite yellow and it's very light. It's somewhere between NC5 and NC10, so it's the best thing I've found so far. It doesn't settle into my pores as long as I get my face ready in the right way, and it also doesn't break down in a weird way throughout the day. So that with that sponge applies very nicely, and it's as good as I have right now. I am so curious about the new Makeup Forever Ultra HD because they have two lighter yellow based shades than the lightest shade in the previous line. I did swatch Y205, which is the lightest yellow shade in the store, and it's more pink, to be honest. And at the time I was so disgusted by it, I just didn't get a sample because I was expecting if it's in the yellow range that it's going to be more yellow toned, but no, it really was very much more pink toned, and it reminded me of the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus in shade 15, which is also extremely light, but it's also pink. And it's a type of foundation that just does not work for my skin anymore at all because it's so more on the matte side. So it settles into my pores like crazy. Y215 is called Yellow Alabaster, I believe, on Sephora's site. And they don't carry that shade in any Sephora near me. I kind of think I saw something online where people were able to actually try it out in the store. So I don't know, maybe it is available in other places. I'm very curious to see that one, but I think it might be too dark. But I don't know. So I'm kind of What I'm gonna do, what I should do, is get a sample of the 205 and see if it works on my face at all before I do anything. If it does, if it just magically works, maybe maybe I can deal with the more pinkness. And if not, then maybe I'll just buy the 215 online and return it if it doesn't work. I don't know why I'm talking about this during my favorites. Next thing, LORAC Behind the Scenes Eye Primer. So this has been my, kind of historically, my favorite primer along with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. But I don't know if they changed the formulation on this a little bit, but previously this was much thicker and drier. The one I have is quite liquidy. It's more like, it's like the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, but it feels almost a little moisturizing. A tiny bit. I'm not sure if that's really happening, but it feels more moist and it's definitely more liquidy than it used to be. And it still holds my shadow really nicely, prevents creasing and fading throughout the day unless it's a really lousy eyeshadow formula. And so I've really been enjoying using that again. I think that came with my LORAC Pro 2 palette. Something that's on my Use It Up list. Oh, and I think technically this is on my Use It Up as well. This Studio Gear brow definer, I believe it's called, in medium ash. So I'm really making some progress here. And it's what I've been wearing in my brows quite a lot lately. Despite my hair being fairly warm toned right now, the last time I dyed it, I used a medium rich brown, which was more reddish than the medium brown that I used before, which was a slightly cooler, but I also have red underneath this. So there's a lot of red tones in the hair, and this is more on the cool side, so it worked really well before I started dyeing my hair. You can see the color there. I feel like it always swatches looking a little more warm than it does in person. Well, maybe not. I think that's about right. It wears well, it looks really natural. I feel like I can color in my brows pretty naturally with this. That's what I have in my brows today, along with, they are dyed, but they're like half grown out. So I have like these really dark ends and then these like white blonde roots. It's pretty funny. I realized, I mean, it's logical, and I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but you have to dye your brows so much more often than your hair, because if you get like a 1/4 inch of growth in your brows, that's like half the brow. So yeah, they need to be dyed again. But I feel like it's a good combo. And the thing I really struggle with is like the front, it not getting too like blocky and too defined. And I feel like I can just press very lightly and get a very soft look at the front while getting a little bit more darkness towards around the edges and at the end. And yeah, I've been really happy with it. Though I don't think I would buy it again. There's a brow set from Sephora, which is calling my name, and I'm trying to resist buying it. But I'm afraid that it's gonna sell out by the time that coupon comes around, and it's November. I don't know. I feel like I have to wait a really long time for this lip to set. Once it does set, it works really well. I would hesitate to call it my favorite, but it's the cream lip stain from Sephora, and it's in, what is this? Something orchid, I think. Something orchid or something violet. It's very pretty. And it actually wears away pretty well. Oh, that reminds me. I actually have kind of a failure for this month. I don't often really have, or actually I probably just return stuff and don't think about it. Anyway, I think this is the last thing except for that failure, and this is the Kat Von D Chrysalis palette. I noticed, I don't know that name is anywhere on here, so I don't know if that's something they added to it after they started releasing more palettes. But I like this more than I thought I would. So I got this on sale. It ended up being, I think, 25% off on sale on Sephora's site. And I was interested in it before, but never really enough to get me to jump on it. And that price encouraged me to jump on it. So the shades that I've really been enjoying are the more cool shades, which is interesting, I feel. Just because cool tones are not something that I usually, just gonna go right around that eyebrow swatch. Warm tones are easier for me to wear. Now I am wearing this on my eyes today, and I wouldn't say that this is a very cool toned look, but it uses several of the cool toned shadows. So the ones I've used the most are that brow bone highlight, and then this color, which in the pan to me looks blue, maybe like a bluish gray. And I've used this in the crease a fair amount. It's a very nebulous color. It's hard to really define, and it does add something to my crease for sure. I don't know, I really like it. It's mysterious to me. This super duper shimmery kind of gray shade, which it's almost like a combination of silver and gold, a little bit. So it's maybe a little bit warmer than it looks in the pan. And also, I love these kind of shades, even though they don't always translate the way I'm expecting. And this one, I feel like in the pan looks also a little cooler, and then on me it looks a little warmer, which is kind of par for the course. And this is the shimmery shade highlight. So those are the shades I've been using the most and really been happy with. The matte creamy highlight is not as pigmented as my beloved Pure Minerals. How can I get this in the frame with my face? The Pure Minerals Soul Matte. So that's my favorite brow bone highlight. But it's nice that I have something quite usable. So that is that super shimmery shade. This is the more kind of purpley shade. And there's that kind of funky, cool blue gray situation. And then there's the shimmery shade. I feel like they all kind of look similar. We'll see how it looks once I edit it. But so I've been using a combination of those a lot lately, and I just feel like the colors, I don't know, they just look so interesting. It's just different from stuff I have and use, and it behaves differently on the eyes than I'm expecting. And those shimmery shades, if you layer them over other colors, it can have really interesting, pretty effects. So I don't know, I've just been so pleased with it, and it makes me want to buy the Interstellar palette, even though, you know, like I say, cool tones are not something that I wear all the time, or rather that I feel like are a little trickier for me to work with, because if I don't incorporate some warmth, it can look kind of dirty. And I did want to mention also that today I also have the purple shade in my crease. I think that's it. I've also used that kind of mid-tone brown a fair amount. So in my recent like smoky eye, I think I called it a daytime smoky gray eye for fair skin. It's not very smoky at all. The lights I have in this whole setup really kind of take that. It's like being in an extremely well-lit office or something like that. Day to day, that's not how I see my makeup. So in person, to me, it's a little bit more smoky, but whatever. I'm trying to backtrack on the fact that I made a video about a smoky eye that really wasn't that smoky. So my failure for the recent past is this long-wear lip color situation from L'Oreal. I don't know, that it doesn't have a name on it, does it? No. The color is Timeless Rose. It has a lot of glitter in it, and I knew that it had glitter. I could see it when I bought it, but it just, a lot of that glitter translates to your lips. I was still kind of wishy-washy on the glitter. It also has a balm, which is actually a very shiny, glossy finish. So that almost takes the edge off that glittery finish. But my big issue with this, and it's something that when I wear long wear products, this is what put me off on long wear stuff from as far back as they really came out with this type of formula, is that instead of wearing away nicely, it peels off in chunks. And I have a major problem with that because I don't see when that starts happening, and then I go look at myself after I have a meal or something and it's like the apocalypse on my lips and I can't stand it. So I am going to return this. I bought it at Target. It's $10 at Target. I had a $3 off coupon, so it was only $7, but I cannot see myself ever wearing that again. So it's going back. Now what I want to buy, TT Sandra has been tempting me with this Laura Mercier, not me specifically, all of us watching her videos and her Instagram. It's the Laura Mercier like paint wash liquid lipstick. She says it wears away evenly and leaves a little bit of a stain, I think. And that's what I want. And she said it's not drying. It's like magic in a tube, according to Sandra. So I really, really want to try that. But it's really, you know, Laura Mercier lip products, well, Laura Mercier products in general are expensive, but I find their lip products to be ridiculously expensive. And the lip glosses are the only gloss that's like actually moisturizing to my lips, like truly moisturizing to my lips. And so I have bought a couple of those full price. So I've done it before, and I feel like, you know, Laura, you have really not let me down in the past, but I'm still kind of afraid. Even with a discount, that's a lot of money. So I really do want to try that. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, since I'm just rambling on and on and on, is that I did record a video when I first switched to using our bedroom for recording videos, but I have it saved, but I haven't uploaded it. It's before I dyed my hair, and I was looking kind of rough. And I mean, the end product was okay, but I feel like all the process of getting my makeup on, my hair was a like super hot mess. It's a hot mess right now, but it was like a super hot mess that day. And along with all the like super gray roots, and it was so faded and many different colors, and I don't know, I wasn't looking good. So we'll see if I'll upload that at some point. Anyway, so, you know, I'm pregnant. We have 3 bedrooms. I had been using the 3rd bedroom as my place to record videos, and that is going to be the new baby's room, and I need to start doing stuff on it. We've got some issues to address with possible lead paint in our house, which is totally stressing me out. But even beyond that, there's some wallpaper trim that needs to be removed by some professionals, because I'm not going to spend like 20 hours of my life trying to do that when I have so little time to begin with. And it needs to be painted, and the crib's got to get set up in there, and all that jazz. So I really just needed to transition out of that room, recording somewhere else. So what I did was bought 2 floor lamps from Target. They're threshold floor lamps, and they have 3 lights each. And so I have those sitting opposite on my vanity, and it gives me a ton of light. So what it's it's what we use for our main lighting in the room, but since it's all 3 separate switches, I just turn all of them off except for one that's in an outlet that's controlled by a switch. I like the way they look, which has been my main issue with not buying these before. Since they are in our bedroom, I do want to like the way they look. So I bought some daylight bulbs online that were I think they're 5000 Kelvin, so daylight rated. So it's definitely a more cool light, but it gives me tons of light. And while I'm editing, it's crazy. This setup I'm needing to fiddle with the lighting in my editing, the exposure and whatnot, less than I was when I was recording with a softbox in the other room. So the only thing is I kind of have to like stage my bedroom, which I don't love. Right now I'm using a duvet cover that doesn't have any sort of comforter inside of it. Just so that, because our blanket is just white and our sheets are white with a little pattern. So it's a very boring background situation. Those curtains are just blackout curtains. They look excessively bland and clashing against the gray paint in here. Yeah. So I add some stuff in order to make it look a little bit better, but I really do want to get another kind of like tapestry type thing like Urban Outfitters has. Just a piece of interesting cloth that I can throw over the bed really quickly. That will be a little bit less thick because it's not like we're using this for sleeping. And then probably switch these curtains. Since they are blackout curtains, those will probably go in the baby's room, even though they're really boring. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that because, yeah, that's a whole separate issue. I think I better stop now. Anyway, so I'm recording in my room for our room for who knows how long, and that's why. So in case you were wondering, since it just kind of switched and I didn't mention it, that's the situation. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching and getting through all this rambling. Let me know if you have any comments or questions down below. I always do love hearing from you, and I'll see you soon.